Hi everyone, and welcome to Canucks Hockey Blog TV from JJ's Place in Surrey. Today we talk about free agent frenzy, Canucks cap space or lack thereof, an update of Luongo and Schneider, and we discover a love square. All that and much more. Enjoy.
Welcome to episode of CHBTV. As you know, we can't count. CHB counts to 3, yo. Yeah. I am Chris Golden at Lightforce, joined always by my compatriot, Clayton Imoo, at Canuck Clay on Twitter. Today we have the Blogfather again, and we're in the Blogfather's abode, JJ Guerrero's fine pad.
So nice. So nice.
Yeah.
I can't believe I let you guys in.
Yeah, that was your first mistake. We got Ed Lau behind the camera. Can never forget about Ed. And our associate producer extraordinaire, Sean Imoo, sitting behind the scenes snoring. So that's him, not me. Sorry. He was out partying with Tyler Seguin last night.
Sean, you gotta stop raging like that.
That's where he was.
Yeah.
Told me that he was with his friend.
Well, Tyler's his friend. I mean, he wasn't really lying.
Bad parenting, but we'll work on that.
I don't know, if you're sort of friends with an NHL superstar, I think you're pretty
Okay,
awesome.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a good dad, Ed.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah, postseason. It's a time of wonder and silliness, but we're only shortly removed from free agent frenzy, which was July 5th for the special occasion this year. And I don't know if it was me or maybe it is everyone, but it was not more like free agent frenzy. It was more like free agent agony. Like there wasn't much action. I mean, it was what TSN yesterday had like hours on hours of panel talking with Blackberries up.
Yeah.
Like, what I miss?
No, it's a weak free agent class. Well, put it this way: there was a lot of action. I just don't know if it was good action. You know what I mean? The team spent something like $400 million in 24 hours.
Yeah.
It shoved out a lot of money.
Yeah,
But
and then you add in the buyout dollars to get under the cap of compliance buyouts, and what was it? So it was something like $500 or $600 million added together.
what lockout?
Yeah, what lockout?
What was wrong with that system? What did they fix?
Well, see, the teams were broke, but they had such a successful 40-game season that they made more money in that shorter period of time they had to spend.
Something. But yeah, I mean, it was a weird free agency. They obviously the Canucks were big players before. They weren't this year. We knew they weren't going to be.
Well,
they didn't have a lot of cap space.
What, just under $8 million? And
They had seven players or something like that.
Yeah.
So they couldn't even afford you to if they wanted to.
No, probably not.
Well,
Although I'd probably play for free.
I mean, but consider that.
If Luongo doesn't come back, they'd probably tap me to play.
Yeah, what's league minimum right now?
Five or six hundred thousand.
Let's say 600,000.
Okay, let's say
Let's say 600,000. League minimum is $600,000. They actually couldn't afford us, really. I mean, let's be real here.
Let's be real.
Predicament, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't play for 600 grand.
Yeah, I mean, none of us were.
No.
Would.
That would be insulting.
But yeah, no. I mean, we look at. Let's see what happened. Jerome McGinley. I guess he felt bad for Boston.
Yeah.
That's so funny because he rejected Boston and then he just goes and signs with them anyway.
Well, it's like I didn't really want to be traded to you because I like Pittsburgh better,
Yeah.
but I've learned my lesson.
After you guys kicked my ass.
Yeah.
Ginla is the new Hossa.
I want to play with Sid the Kid, but I also want to get paid now.
Yeah.
Well, I got a ridiculous amount from them.
Was it six?
Well, it's $6 million, including the bonuses.
Yeah, it's like 1.3 base.
It's what 1.8 base.
And he plays 10 games and he gets like a $3 million bonus.
Yeah.
10. All he needs is 10 games and an 82-game season.
Yeah.
And so that's his base.
Yeah.
Let's see. Alfredson. Alfredson's a Red Wing.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah, that's.
Like, I don't get why. I mean, was Ottawa not willing to pay, or
Well, Ottawa's having some money problems right now. There's an article in the Ottawa Citizen about Eugene Melnick and some of his stock from previous ventures. Basically, him having to sell it off, and I think the Senators have to operate under an internal cap of something like $50 million this year. So, I mean, but with Alfredson, I don't think it was a money thing. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't think Alfredson would have cared if he was, if he stayed in Ottawa, made $3 million or $4 million, whatever it was. He wants to win. He's getting old. He wants a cup.
Well, and that's what he said.
And I don't think the Senators are in a position right now because of cash issues where they could maybe make a big jump and add more to the team, to Alfie's liking.
Yeah, well, I hadn't heard that about the Senators being a little bit cash poor. It's probably the Senators CSI department that they opened up.
Maybe they overpaid for the CSI.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, JJ. I think it sounds like Ottawa just gave him a number and said we can't go past this number, and Alfredson's camp just kind of disengaged, and they took that as their signal to go look elsewhere. It just kind of, it's crazy. Like you after what, it's 14, 15 years.
17 years.
Yeah, 17 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So just talking to a couple of friends from Ottawa, he used the term in the text back, devastated and depressed. So I'm not sure if he's talking about him or Alfredson. Probably him. I think Alfredson's more happy.
Well, there's a few of our followers on Twitter that you see them on the timeline, and big Ottawa fans. It's a big change. It's like when Trevor Linden left. I mean, I know Trevor Linden was traded.
Trevor didn't leave on his own.
Exactly. He was traded.
Against his will.
Yeah, I mean, if Trevor had left, like, I want to win, guys, sorry, I don't think we look at him that way. You have the same argument that you would have with others over Pavel Bure.
Right.
And Pavel Bure has to leave, regardless of how he might have been the Canucks' most prolific player in the world. He said, I want out.
But it's 17 years, though. I mean, Bure was only here for, what, 4 or 5 years?
And that's the thing, like, I look at, like, you look at the Flames looking at it again, like Flames fans, and they look at Jerome, it's like, you know what, we owe it to Jerome to let him win. And I saw someone on Twitter yesterday go and say Jerome Iginla in one day went from the NHL's prodigal son to the son of Satan. And that was because how, hey, you know what, he's a good guy, yeah, we're going to put him on the, trade him to a team so he can win. I bet you if he gets traded to Boston, no one thinks anything different. But that he actually signs with Boston. Yeah. And it's like, how could you even think of that?
But maybe they expect him to sign with Calgary again? I mean, that's...
But maybe again,
Calgary has money.
But maybe again,
they're not going to win it.
maybe he did the nice thing. He saw that Pittsburgh had better assets than Boston, so he offered to trade it to Pittsburgh, get Calgary some assets, and then go to Boston.
No,
Good guy. Come on.
There's no way a player goes, I think Pittsburgh's going to give us better stuff.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I would have to concur with Clay. It is possible because both Boston and Pittsburgh were winners, allegedly.
It's hard to say. I mean, I really don't think that comes into what Iginla would want. Like, I don't think he's going to management and saying, man, you guys better trade me to the team that has the best stuff.
No.
He'd go to Columbus or something.
No. I'm not saying that that's what he would have gone just out of his own free will. But I mean, he was that close to going to Boston that Boston was of the belief he was on his way, and so they pulled players out of the lineup. And then all of a sudden he goes to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh gave a better deal, absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe that's on Iginla, maybe not. I mean, I'd like to believe my good buddy Clay here.
But back to Alfie. So you lose Alfie, but you gain Bobby Ryan and you gain Clark MacArthur.
That's actually
discuss.
Yeah, that's a good deal for them.
It's a tough bill for Ottawa fans to swallow, but I think they came out on top. To be honest, I mean, Alfie's got 1 or 2 years left. I mean, he's gonna retire soon, but they gain Bobby Ryan, who is a 30 goal scorer at worst in a 82-game season.
And he's a lot younger.
He's a lot younger.
He's not in his prime
all he
yet.
had to give up was Jakob Silverberg and some picks. Now, draft picks are valuable, but when you have a proven player, it's like trading in $1 million lottery tickets for $1 million. You know what I mean? You have a prize, and you give up your chance at a bigger prize.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and if you look at where that pick's probably going to be, without Bobby Ryan last year, the sense for the playoffs, it'll be a middle round pick, right? So I think they did good there. I like Clark MacArthur too. I was actually hoping the Canucks would have a shot at him. I knew they wouldn't just because of how much money he was going to get. But I mean, I think that's good. They added some scoring. They replaced Alfredsson's scoring with someone younger. MacArthur, I think, adds a lot to the team in terms of versatility
Let's
and
be honest,
grit.
the money was a little crazy this year. I mean, in what world?
Sorry.
In what
This
world
year?
In what world does what's his face? David Clarkson make as much as Nathan Ward?
In
7 years for David Clarkson, man.
well, it's the big smoke. They got cash.
It's nuts.
You know, that's how Toronto rolls.
That's
yo.
how Toronto rolls. Yeah.
They-
Look at how that turned out for them last time.
He-
Thomas Sarek.
They were that close to the cup. They got the parade route planned. I think Clarkson's going to be like the parade marshal.
They were within 3 goals in the last minute to go to the next round.
Not the last minute. Let's be fair, the last 10 minutes. Because if it was the last minute, you know, that's horrible. Actually, just on that note, I mean, we didn't really talk about this. What's worse, losing by a 3-goal lead in the last 10 minutes, or losing the Stanley Cup altogether by 2 goals in the last 2 minutes, 90 seconds? What's worse, get knocked out in Game 7 because you gave up a 3-goal lead with 10 minutes to play, or you lose the Stanley Cup?
You know what?
1 goal lead.
You lose the Stanley Cup.
Agreed.
I almost go the other direction because, like, Boston would have to win that game and then win another game to win the cup. But they were within a minute of going. Toronto was within a minute of going to the next round.
Yeah, but then you got to get through round 2. Then you got to get through round 3. So
And
Stanley Cup.
taking into
Stanley
context
Cup.
what
Stanley
teams
Cup.
it was, like, I mean, if it was Boston won a couple of years ago, whatever. But like, Toronto's had a worse drought than we have.
Well, okay. Maybe let's
Context.
measure it by fan base. Which fan base is?
It was more devastating to Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Boston fans are like, oh my god, what happened?
But they're gonna go, we won last time. We beat the Canucks.
They have that ability to do it. But like, unlike Toronto fans, who are like, yeah, we won 40 years ago.
We won 40 years ago when the cup was easier and nobody like it was 6 teams, right?
Yeah.
Hard to judge fan bases. I don't care. I just worry about our own.
You don't. Yeah, I know you don't judge. You're fair, impartial.
Good guy.
You're a good guy. Ed and I.
We're huge
He's a good
jerks.
guy.
Jerks.
I judge all the time.
What else happened on free agent frenzy?
No, let's stay in Canada. What
Well,
did Edmonton?
Let's talk about the players that the Canucks lost, like Lapierre and like,
Sorry,
we lost
Victoria.
quite a few players. no super important players, let's be honest. But I mean Lapierre and who else?
Derek-
Mason Raymond.
Derek Roy.
Well, no, we haven't lost Mason Raymond. We might resign him still. He hasn't signed.
We're not gonna re-sign that guy. But
So you like
I'm
him?
sorry, Mason Raymond, but you lost the puck in the corner too many damn times.
Broken back.
It's a big change for the Canucks this year because we're losing a lot of players that we consider to be Canucks for so long.
I know, they're playing for St. Louis.
Yeah, they're all playing for St. Louis now. Yeah.
The Canucks get knocked out in the first round. We're cheering for the Blues. That's the way it goes, right?
Hey, Lappy.
Let's see. So yeah, Lapierre's gone. Derek Roy, how short of a time in June. Apparently Mary's not coming back. I mean,
Ballard's gone.
Ballard's gone. Yeah, Ballard went to.
I would rather have Ballard than Mason Raymond. That's
Oh,
how
yeah.
bad Mason Raymond is.
I'd rather have Ballard at forward than Mason Raymond. Did he try to play forward? He
Yes,
did.
he did.
Play forward.
It was hilarious.
I thought he
It was
played
awesome.
well. He acquitted himself well. And
Hey, doesn't
anytime-
Yannick Weber play
Yeah.
forward sometimes?
You knew he was a responsible
Yeah.
back check because really he just couldn't figure out shouldn't I be back there?
Yeah,
I
just,
think Ballard has a good shot at being like a fourth line, third, like a bottom six forward that's just
Well,
like
but
a defensive specialist.
You see this so often, that where you get that defenseman, the big guy, defensively responsible,
Brent
and then
Burns.
Brent Burns, Buffalin, who was interchangeable. So you get that. I think Ballard has opportunities.
let's talk about who we did get.
Who did we get?
Brad Richardson.
Good pick. I like that.
Why?
I really like that. Versatile guy.
I find it hard to be excited about it because it's
Well, I think overall we got to adjust our expectations here. I mean, we knew that the Canucks weren't going to get anyone for the top six dollar-wise. It just wasn't going to happen. But you look at the guys that they did get. You look at Richardson.
We finally got Weber.
Finally got a Yannick Weber. But
Sorry, you didn't get my joke.
wrong.
Got it.
I got it. Yeah.
Well, then react accordingly. It's a good joke.
Still getting over your singing.
Come on! But
He's a personal guy, and he's a gritty guy.
I agree with you, but when I think of what I want as our third line, I mean, I'm hoping for an elite third liner. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want a top line guy, but I want a guy that knows the third line role. Like, Malhotra was the perfect example. Guy that only played D, that won face-offs. I want that for our team.
Yeah. And you know,
Sandy Paulson,
the Canucks.
Poland.
Apparently, the Canucks did try to go for a couple of, you know, like Boyd Gordon.
Yeah.
You know, he would have been great. But $3 million a year, you know, for 3 years, right?
No.
I mean, you look at again. You got to look at the money here.
I guess it's the market, yeah.
The market was too high. How much money did the Canucks have, or how much cap space did the Canucks have?
Well, any way we look at it, the Canucks are going to save the room. We're going to see a bunch of players who probably wouldn't have been on this team last year.
Yeah, and you see, you might see a bunch of, you know, like Gauntz and Horvat might see some ice time this year, which is great. Oh.
It's all grown bikini. But anyways.
He's up in here, and I'm like, JJ, whatever.
No shit. And then who's the guy they signed today?
Mike Santorelli.
Santorelli.
Actually, I worked with his son.
Really?
Yeah, he was a security guy at Rogers.
Are you allowed to say that?
I don't know if I'm allowed to.
We were talking over. Let's talk about Yannick Weber.
Yeah.
Mike Gillis said that he's got a slap shot that rivals Sammy Sallows, and that he's going to help anchor the power play.
You know, he got Yannick Weber, not Shea Weber, right? Slapshot? I've never heard of this guy.
Well, I've heard of Yannick Weber, and when I saw that there was a signing, I'm like, oh, that's good for depth. That's the way I viewed it. But when I heard the press conference, yeah, he's got a slap shot that rivals Sammy Sallows, and he'll be great as an anchor on our power play.
Here's an idea. We got a guy who wears number 5, who I think Slapshot is more closer to Sammy Sallows. Let's use him on the power play.
Oh, why did nobody use Garrison? Why was Garrison not on the power play at all? Why are we signing him?
Sorry, we're getting this baggage.
No, but Garrison wasn't on the power play because the Canucks were too afraid of his slap shot hurting something. That's all. They were just out of the kindness of their hearts.
Oh, yeah. Because Sammy Sallow couldn't injure a whole bunch of people before, right?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's ever been hit by a puck
or
in the Canucks organization.
who was it, like Ehrhoff, whenever he took a slap shot, it was, you know, there was a 20% chance it was on net, and 80% of the time it was ducked.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, let's see. Let's kind of just gauge Weber's power play time throughout the year, and at the end of CHBTV 28 or whatever we're at by the end of next season, let's actually look back and see how much power play time he actually gets. And I think we'll see that.
He's a depth signing, right?
Yes.
They signed him as like the number 7, number 8 guy.
Number 7, but now I'm thinking second unit power play.
So, is Weber the new Ballard?
It's a cheaper
No,
Ballard.
it costs like 1/7 of what Ballard
Yeah.
is.
Oh, that's true.
Hey, that was good math right there.
Actually, it's not even a 7, it's a 6. I'm terrible.
Off the rails.
So Tanev and Weber are third line
I don't
pairings.
like that though. I think Tanev's got to play with a veteran.
So,
No, you know what I like.
Minnesota.
Well, you know what I like about Weber. He's a right-handed shot.
Yeah.
So now you've got, if you look at the Canucks D now, they can have right-handed defensemen on every pair.
Yeah.
And I think that's big for them, because you look at the guys that are left with, Hampus, Garrison, and Edler. None of them look really comfortable on the right side. But now all of a sudden you've got Bieksa, you've got Tanev. If Corrado doesn't make the team, you've got Weber there probably as a depth guy. That's fine. That works fine. Yeah, and he's got a good slap shot. That's probably the only thing to compare with Sammy Sallow.
Well, and it got brought up in the press conference.
Yeah, I mean, reading on some of the boards of what Habs fans are saying about Weber, they like him. There was a time when they were really high up on him, and they still
They
are.
also
It's
like
just,
Jan Gulas at the time. So.
well, yeah. But he's a serviceable guy. He's young. He's only 24 years old. There's room for him to get better.
Speaking of young defensemen, what about, does anybody think Jonathan Blum as a reclamation project?
Well,
He's not getting signed by the Preds.
No, and he wants to come to Vancouver. I mean, he's a Vancouver Giant though, so he's disqualified, isn't he?
Well, Ron DeLorme's scouting for the WHL now, so I don't know. We'll see.
Well, yeah. But Jonathan Blum for numbers, sure.
Yeah, I think
for a minimum, like a mil maybe.
I don't.
For a year?
I wouldn't even sign him for no.
Yeah,
6 or 7.
And that's things. If he wants to come and he's not getting any interest,
You're looking at Yannick Weber money, right?
yeah, and you come.
We're already using Yannick Weber.
He is now the standard of
Low
paying.
end. For the low end, yeah. You're going to pay Yannick Weber
So-
money as opposed to Shane Weber.
So, like, when it comes to re-signing the Sedins, how many Yannick Webers will it take?
I think we'll take at least 10 Yannick Webers.
I think we need Yannick Weber to fill in our boy band. That would be awesome.
Yannick Weber, if you want to come talk to us on CHBTV, well, you're richer than all of us put together. So.
Yeah.
But we need a sponsor, Look a blog up. Yeah. So, Blum, yeah, I'd say for Yannick Weber money, sure.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of giants that are still out there. I mean, Blum's one of them. Cody Franson hasn't been re-signed by the Leafs yet.
Hey,
But
where's
he's still out there. He's a
I
restricted free
actually rather
agent.
have Cody Franson.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's restricted, is he?
he's restricted.
Yeah. So I mean, the chance of us getting him is slim.
Yeah.
Okay, biggest winners in free agency then. What do you think?
You know which team I actually really like, or what they did yesterday, and a lot of you guys are gonna hate this. Edmonton. I really like the moves they made.
They made moves.
They did. They signed Boyd Gordon. I know it's a lot of money, $3 million, 9 mil for over 3 years.
The Barbara?
LeBarbara, which is a very good veteran backup for Dubnik.
He played well here.
He played well
Yeah,
here, and you know what? The Canucks were actually looking into signing him.
You know, is it me or like when you hear the name LaBarbara, you wanna go and pronounce it LaBarbara?
I
No, I think it's just you.
Well, it's kind of like Bobrovsky.
I miss
LaBarbara.
those two jerks so much. How are we gonna watch Fox Sports up here? Like
ADHD or
I want to watch those dudes like all the time. That's supposed to.
Right.
Like as my sports dudes.
You know what? I suddenly feel the urge that I need to do.
Damn.
Yeah.
There's a bathroom over there, Chris.
Oh, come on! I was hoping you guys were gonna dance with me.
But anyway,
JJ was,
You know?
yeah. But back to
anyway,
Edmonton.
back to Edmonton. I like what they did.
Yeah.
You know who I like? I actually.
Andrew Ferentz is going to be a
Yes.
really good addition for the Oilers. They need some one of those guys on D.
They need a more solid D core because you see all their talent up front and you're like that team is going to be something special.
Yeah.
But not until they can keep goals out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will have a challenge moving forward because I think next year they've got like 5 guys signed, and 4 of them tie up $20 million or something like that.
They have a 5 Guys franchise. Is that what you said?
So 5 guys signed.
Oh, okay, sorry. Looks like 5 Guys and Fries. What? Hey, sorry, my bad. Summer.
Thinking burgers.
I'm hungry.
Actually, I kind of want a burger now.
How about Corey Schneider's new team? They quietly added Michael Ryder. They quietly added Ryan Clough. That's not 2 decent pickups. Clough's a little overrated.
I think Clo's a little for all the 3 goals he scored last year. I mean, it was a little bit of an overpayment, but I guess that's a little bit of a blip because he's a solid guy every other season.
Damn straight. If any team was going to overpay him, should have been the Canucks.
Yeah.
They had all the money.
Yeah.
We have tons of money to spend.
And Philly's revamped their team a little bit too. With Emery, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ray Emery's going to be really good there. After he's got his stuff together now, and I think that he's developed into a better goaltender than when he was with Philly the first time.
So if he's a good goalie, and I agree with you, I think he has a good chance.
Well, he had one loss last
He
season.
had 1 loss.
They've beefed up their forwards with Le Cavalier, right, joining them.
Yeah.
So they're just their defense now, right?
So
I don't know. I just want Philly to be bad because it's funny.
Well, I was just going to say, are you telling us that Philly has a humongous big chance and opportunity? Humongous big.
Like the universe.
Like the universe.
They got a shot.
So I don't know. I just when Philadelphia, they go out and they buy out what's his name? Briscala, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And they got some cash and then they signed the Cavalier and I'm like, well, there it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're going to be right up against the cap.
Well, they're over the cap right now. So I mean, the roster that you see, they're gonna have to shed a couple of players, and it's probably gonna be on D because I think they got 7 defensemen that are making $3.5 million
I think
each.
they're looking to trade like a Braden Coburn.
Well, yeah, I think he is, and I think Coburn's like if you look at the Phillies, if I recall, they have quite a few NTCs and NMCs. They're just like the Canucks.
Yeah.
So there's really very little
Yeah.
ability to move, and I think Coburn might be one of those opportunities. I mean, with Philly in mind, though, we saw. Man, it's summer. My brain is turned off.
Too
We
busy.
should be taping by the pool.
Yeah, we should. We saw Pronger in
Clothes
the
on.
draft. Pronger was at the
Yes.
clothes optional. What?
No, clothes on.
Clothes on, yes, please.
What are we even talking about now?
What is going on?
Sorry. This is distracted by
This
the.
is what happens when we have no hockey.
Bang.
So I think we have to talk about Luongo and Schneider.
Sorry, what's going on?
I don't
with
think we're
Luongo and
going to
Schneider?
get away with this if we don't talk about Luongo.
Is there something going on with Luongo and Schneider?
I don't know.
Luongo's playing- Luongo's playing poker.
One of those dudes is no longer on the team, and one guy's still on.
Kind of. I don't know what's going on with Luongo and Schneider. I mean, Schneider, he's getting to figure out where to stay in Jersey.
Well, how do you guys feel about the trade? I mean,
Yeah.
number 9 trade for Hoffman.
You know what? I actually I don't know what Edmonton was offering. I heard that it was going to be first and second round pick, and that the Oilers wanted the Canucks to take the contract back. And based on what I understand, the Canucks did not want a contract back with their trading Schneider because if they were going to trade him, they needed the room. So if the Canucks are going to say no to that, they're not going to get anything else. Every team in the league knew the position they were in. So if all things considered, you know, a first round pick is what Schneider gets you at that point. That's the best value. Luongo wasn't getting a first round pick, and he wasn't getting a second round pick.
I was looking at some of the trades from previous draft years, and in order to trade up to a top 10 pick, you need to give up a pretty good player.
Oh,
I mean, there were exceptions, of course. Like there was like whatever, but at
But
most,
that was that a top 10 pick? Did Washington
that was
get?
an 11.
Yeah.
That was an 11. But
Yeah.
at the same time, to get those guys, you need to you need to trade a pretty good player.
Yeah.
So you gotta switch these cards. And I think Schneider, it was a decent deal, thinking about what potential it could have, but at the same time, you're giving up a really good goalie for.
You're giving up
nothing.
you're giving up a
That's
really
all
good
right there.
goalie, but you gotta think, and you know, as much as Canucks fans are divided on this, we've had two very good goalies. Their stats are pretty much the same. They perform pretty much the same. It's not a significant difference between one or the other. So if one goalie, and we've talked the last 2 years about this, right? If one goalie gets you nothing, and the other goalie gets you something, you get something, right? Like, why would you much rather, if you were Mike Gillis, why would you much rather buy out Luongo, get nothing back for him, and keep Schneider, when keeping Luongo and trading Schneider gets you someone that could potentially be, a number 1, number 2 center on the team,
And $4 million.
and
to
$4
spend.
million of cap space, right?
And
Speaking of which, didn't
Yeah.
we have a little wager about
well,
this?
we did, but our wager is that Luongo is with the Canucks at puck drop.
Oh, right.
On opening night.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man,
so-
someone settled this. Damn it.
So that's 3
I
months.
thought we were going to
Yeah.
get free drinks today.
And so,
With what? He finishes the night.
Damn it.
so it's at puck drop, and Clay and I, shamelessly plugging our podcast C4 from CHB. We talked about this very fact: is that Luongo through James Duthie, and take it, at face value if you wish. James says the divorce is done. Luongo had resigned himself to leave, and you and I spoke about this. If he doesn't report, I mean, that could be also both a good and bad thing for the Canucks. Because if he doesn't report and the Canucks suspend, I think the NHL CBA allows for that contract to all of a sudden be voided over.
And Luongo can't play also.
No, but but he can if dependent on
If they void his contract.
right. So go back to Luongo at the trade deadline. What does he say?
My contract sucks.
My contract sucks, and if I knew this would happen, I would never have signed this contract. So, talking about loopholes,
You think they're gonna suspend him and then
well,
void
no,
his contract, sign him again?
he would have to choose not. He would have to choose to not report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't show up, and they suspend, and then in turn they invalidate the contract because his employee, abandoned his job, the Canucks all of a sudden take themselves out of that point of pressure where they've got a great goaltender. Luongo's a great goaltender. Tied up some great money. It's just term that's a problem. Luongo knows he's going to get paid that money. There's a team out there that'll pay him that money, and if not, pretty darn close. And he has the flexibility and freedom to go somewhere. I don't know. I'll take my tinfoil hat off now, but...
Do you see him actually doing that? Do you see him not reporting? Everything that Luongo's done... You see, everything that Luongo's done in the last... It's a legitimate, reason.
I think you're going to say that he's been a consummate pro.
He has been.
But this is not me knocking Luongo. I'm simply saying that is it possible that there has been conversation among a variety of parties to the effect of if event A takes place, event B can follow?
Oh, I'm sure they've
Well,
talked.
if that was the
I'm
case,
sure his agents talked.
If that was the case, we didn't need to trade Schneider. We could have just went through it and said, okay, Luongo doesn't report as a backup, and then we just would start that.
Well, and that's I'm not saying that that's necessarily where the Canucks were banking on, because if that was the case, Agony doesn't make the trip. He's not down there spending his cash to go and chat to Roberto about coming back to the team.
Yeah.
So plan A is we want him to play, and if Luongo isn't interested in coming back to Vancouver, that was a plan B.
So,
You're right.
is there any truth to the rumor then that if Gillis can't go down there and convince him, and Tortorella can't go down there, then they're actually going to put you on a plane and go down and convince him? Like, how would you convince him?
I don't know, buy him lots of
God,
wine.
why would they send JJ?
You know what?
JJ would be good.
I think Canucks Hockey Blog and our viewers and our loyal readers can put a plan in action. We're going to go to Costco. We're going to buy the finest, case of toilet paper that we can possibly find.
4-ply.
4-ply. We're going to send 4-ply toilet paper to Florida.
Yep.
Okay, in fact, if we get all of our Twitter followers, Canucks Hockey's Twitter followers, and every one of them chipped in $1, we could actually do a complete, renovation of Luongo's favorite room in the house. Like, we're talking like heated seats. You have like the
Oh, he would have like a console so he could tweet while he's on the ground.
That's right. And you have like one of those
This
robotic
episode's
Japanese
literally
robotic
gone
bidets.
down there.
Bidet.
Bidet. Yeah.
Be a good day for that bidet.
Yeah, good day, bidet.
Bidet. Hey.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's the summer. Anyhow. No,
I wonder how Eddie Lack looks as a starter.
Yeah. Or was it Canada?
Joe Canada?
Yeah, he looked good on the bench. A little
Liz would
scared.
love it if Eddie Lack was a starter. Oh, and the stanchion.
Well, actually, just on.
What, Liz wants the Stanchion to start? Oh, no, the Stanchion would love Eddie Lack to start.
Yeah. No, it's Bowman loves Liz.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Bowman loves Liz. Stanchion loves Eddie.
Man, this is so weird.
Actually, we can make a square. Bowman loves Liz. Liz loves Eddie loves the Stanchion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
Stanchion
it.
loves
Whoa.
Bowman.
That's a lot of things to carve into a tree.
So,
We have a square.
we-
Forget a lover's triangle. We have a square.
so Legion of Blog, Liz Moffat,
Eddie Lack.
Sorry, Liz.
Sorry, this isn't going into the video.
Wow. It might not be in the video, but we're gonna tweet it. Okay. Well, we've talked a lot about everything and nothing. It's the summer. It's nice.
It's like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
It's like, this is gonna be like 35 minutes about nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this will be the show about frenzy. I don't know. So last words, JJ.
Happy summer, guys. Oh, maybe talk one more time before between now and the season.
Probably get one more before.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah,
before the preseason.
yeah. Let's do it. Right after the summer summit and
Yeah.
see what we
Maybe
get from
beginning
there.
of training camp or something.
Yeah.
Clayton.
Yeah, that summer summit is going to be a neat focal point. Kristanov, obviously, that we talked about, and filling out the rest of our roster. So, always something going on in Canuckland, I think, for sure.
Cool. Edward.
It's so hot outside. I turned up the sun. Why do we have air conditioning outside yet? Seriously.
Is that what I think so?
Yeah, John, we got
Are you taking a selfie?
Selfie with a GoPro. That's...
Like this? Like this?
Hey, you're missing the duck face.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Hey, tweet that to Paulina.
Hey, Paulina and Gretzky, this is what you look like.
And you guys thought I was awkward. Sean.
What did I say?
Anything.
Anything you want.
Have a good summer!
But yeah, on behalf of CHB, have a great summer. Enjoy yourselves. Wear sunscreen.
Lots of water.
Keep hydrated. Hi, thank you for following Canucks Hockey Blog. That probably just got us shut down. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you shortly or never.
Maybe.
Bye.
What a disaster.
Oh,
That was fun. That was fun.
You want to turn this off?
yeah.
Come for